Hey everybody, this is Tony, Tainted Lord 87, and here's another episode of Have You Heard This, where I pick out 6 random albums from my collection and ask my viewers if they heard them or not, and talk about them as well. So let's get this episode rolling, shall we? The first episode that I randomly picked out, the first album that I randomly picked out is the Black Dahlia Nightbringers. Now, when it comes to melodic death metal, the Black Dahlia are a very consistent band, delivering albums upon albums of vicious, angry, aggressive, melodic death metal with some killer riffs, amazing solos, and gnarly, monstrous vocals. And Nightbringers is just another solid album from the Black Dahlia. If you want some melodic death metal that's like vicious, aggressive, heavy, and unapologetically heavy as hell, then Nightbringers by the Black Dahlia is another solid album in their discography. Just an awesome, awesome melodic death metal album from the Black Dahlia. Nightbringers is an excellent album to check out. So that's the Black Dahlia Nightbringers, an excellent melodic death metal album. The next one I chose is Saxon and the album Battering Ram. Now, Saxon is a band that's been going on for more than 2 decades, just delivering some solid heavy metal hard rock in their long discography, long career, and Battering Ram is just an excellent heavy metal hard rock album from Saxon. As far as I know, in this late in their career, Saxon never released like a really bad album, and Battering Ram is just a really heavy, triumphant, fist in the air, heavy metal album through and through. Just a really banging album by Saxon. So, if you want to check out some Saxon, I definitely recommend checking out Battering Ram by Saxon. Just a really awesome heavy metal album and a hard rock album as well. Definitely one of the best albums in their career, in my personal opinion. So, yeah, that's Saxon, Battering Ram. Really good stuff. Next one, the next band I'm going to show off is a band that I've always known about. I've always heard about them, but this is my first time actually giving them a listen, and that's Unleash the Archers and their latest album, Phantoma. Like I said, Unleash the Archers are a band that I've always known about. I've always heard about them, but this is my first time actually checking out this band and buying an album from them. And what better album to pick up than the newest one, the latest one, Phantoma. And it's basically some heavy metal, power metal with an awesome female front woman fronting this band, and her vocals are just amazing, absolutely, absolutely killer. Really fits with the music, and like I said, they play like heavy metal, power metal, and they deliver riffs, solos, you name it. This is just an excellent album and a great way to introduce newer fans to the band, like myself. And maybe it's just me, but I noticed there's some keyboards um that's added to this album that makes it sound a bit retro sounding. Maybe I could be wrong. Who knows? This is just my personal take, but yeah, sometimes this album definitely has a retro feel, but this is just a solid heavy metal, power metal album from Unleash the Archers, and definitely definitely a good album to check out and an excellent band to get into. So yeah, Unleash the Ultras Phantoma is just an excellent heavy metal power metal album. I'm sure I'm sure the previous albums might be better or not. I really don't know, but I really got to check out the discography now. So yeah, Unleash the Ultras Phantoma. Just an excellent album. Okay, the next band I'm going to show off is a band that I'm pretty sure everybody knows if you're into thrash metal, and that's Overkill's The Wings of War. Now, Overkill is a long running thrash metal band that's been going on for over 3 decades now and delivering some top quality thrash metal, and The Wings of War is no different. This is just a top tier, in your face, aggressive, vicious, heavy as hell thrash metal album through and through. It'll have your head banging and your fist in the air, and yeah, this is just an excellent thrash metal album from Overkill. Overkill is a very consistent band when it comes to thrash metal, at least in this late in their career. And this album is definitely one of the best albums in their discography. So if you want thrash metal, you can't go wrong with Overkill's The Wings of War. Just a truly rampaging album. Excellent stuff. So yeah, this is Overkill's The Wings of War. Definitely check this album out. Okay, next up is Sepultura's Kairos. Now everybody should know who Sepultura are. They started off like a thrash metal band, then in the late 90s, early 2000s, they kind of experimented and acted and started playing like new metal, groove metal early during the middle of their career, during the 90s and early 2000s. But lately, they've been slowly getting back to the thrash metal that they were known for early in their career. And I think Kairos by Sepultura is a very underrated album. It's just a solid mid-paced thrash metal album, and just an awesome heavy metal album in general. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this album. I don't hear a lot of Sepultura fans talk about this album. So yeah, this album is just really underrated. I find this album to be pretty damn good if you're into some mid-paced thrash and some straight up heavy metal. But yeah, this is just an excellent album by Sepultura and definitely an album that needs to be talked about more. So yeah, Sepultura's Kairos is a good album from Sepultura. Like I said, there's some mid-paced thrash metal and some heavy metal moments, but yeah, this is a good album. So yeah, Sepultura's Kairos. Definitely check this out if you haven't. And the last album that I'm going to show off in this episode is Deicide's To Hell with God. And this is a very underrated album from Deicide. I don't really hear a lot of people talk about it, but if you just want some straight up death metal, you can't go wrong with Deicide's To Hell with God. You know, this album doesn't really deliver any surprises. It just gives you some straight up death metal, and that's really what we really want from Deicide. Some just straight up banging death metal, and this album delivers. And it's very underrated, and it needs to be talked about more. So yeah, Deicide's To Hell with God is a very good death metal album that I recommend everyone to check out. You know? So yeah, Deicide's To Hell with God. Some really excellent death metal. And that's it. That's another episode of Have You Heard This? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and hopefully everyone will check out these albums and let me know what you think. So, see you in the next episode whenever that happens. Take care and thanks for watching.